Anyway, let's move on ourselves to the next topic that we have here. And boy, woo! Okay, we got to talk about this one right here. As you see at the bottom of your screen, J.K. Dobbins calls out the Ravens coaching staff. Does he have a fair argument? And for those of y'all that don't know what he basically said that if Lamar Jackson was playing, they would have won this game. And also, he has some issues about his touches in the red zone. So I guess I would love to do the honors and start this one off because, man, first of all, I think he lost his mind to come at, his coaching staff like that. I don't really think, obviously he's a young guy. So there's a lot of maturing to do. I'm going to cut him some slack there. But when you look at the game, the Ravens control the game. That's why I disagree with the take. First of all, Zach, I'm not sure if you remembered, but when we did a take for 99 cent, one of our famous takes on the show, or segments rather, I said that I wanted to see Lamar Jackson in the playoffs because as much as I like the guy, as much as he's one of the top 10 quarterbacks in the league, I had not seen that signature win in the playoffs yet. The one win that he has against the Titans, that was a great win. And that was great to get that monkey off his back of not winning a playoff game. But I have not seen that signature win, that Patrick Mahomes win, right? That other Joe Burrow quarterback win. And I want to see that this year. So I really can't definitively say that he would have made a difference where they actually won the game. He would have made a difference. Yeah, he's Lamar Jackson. He's more explosive than Tyler Huntley. He could do more than Tyler Huntley. He's probably arguably a better passer than Tyler Huntley. But as far as a difference in the score column, I'm not sure because if you look at the game, the Ravens outgained the Bengals 364 to 234 yards. They averaged more yards per play, 5.5, excuse me, to 4.3. One could argue Tyler Huntley outperformed Joe Burrows last night, even though he had the two mistakes that cost him the game. He outperformed Joe Burrow, I thought. So this game basically came down to that red zone debacle, third and goal. And instead of, Tyler Huntley going low, which he was told to do, while his offensive lineman pushed him in the end zone, he tried to play the hero, jump over the lineman, got the ball batted. It was a fumble. Returned 94 yards for a touchdown, 98 yards for a touchdown. That's a free 7 points. When a game is tight like that, and you're going up against Joe Burrow, you're going up against Josh Allen, you're going up against Patrick Mahomes, you're going up against Tom Brady. One thing that you don't want to do is give a free 7, especially when you have a backup quarterback in the game. You don't want to give a free 7. Bad enough, you do it with Lamar Jackson. You don't want to do it. But when you have a backup quarterback, you have to play a perfect game. I know everybody going to talk about John Harbaugh's play calling. Fine, you could do so. But that game, and I know it's so like straightforward, but that play right there literally changed the outcome of the game. If they score a touchdown, they have the cards now. Now I feel like their chances of winning this game goes up. One last thing. You know what that play reminded me of, Zach? That Marvin Harrison play. Excuse me, not Marvin Harrison. James Harrison. In that Super Bowl. Steelers and the Cardinals. Where the Cardinals was driving. They was in the red zone. And Kurt Warner threw that interception. James Harrison took it to the house. That's why the Steelers won the Super Bowl. That's why the Ravens lost the game. And I'm going to leave it at that.
Yeah, I agree. I think those, that play, and Huntley threw another pick early in the game that did lead to a Bengals field goal. Like that 10 points really was what determined the game. And it's tough, man, because we're going to get into the Dolphins too. Like I think both the Ravens and the Dolphins both played really as well as they could yesterday. The Ravens were really the better team. And those two turnovers, yeah, as you said, like when you're a 10-point underdog with Tyler Huntley playing against Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals, like those are just the mistakes you cannot afford to make. And I think it's unfortunate for the Ravens because everything was kind of coming together. The reason why I was so high on the Ravens coming into the season was because last year there wasn't a team that had worse injury luck than the Ravens. It got so bad that they didn't even make the playoffs. Like they fell apart at the end of the season. And that almost like it continued a little bit into this year with all of the injuries they had. Rashad Bateman obviously didn't play in this game. He's been out a few weeks now, plus Lamar. And it's unfortunate because the Ravens defense, I thought they played really well. Like Harbaugh had a great game plan. They really came to play. And in these AFC North divisional games, I know that probably was the least entertaining game of yesterday, but these AFC North games, they're always very close, hard-hitting games. And it's unfortunate that those two plays ended up really costing the Ravens. And when it comes to J.K. Dobbins, like, I think he looked really good last night, and I know he's coming off of injury. I don't think the comments are a huge deal, emotional after the game. He wanted the ball. Can't blame him for that. And it was a little odd that he didn't get the ball in the goal line in that stretch, but Harbaugh called the play. He told him to go low. Unfortunately, Tyler Huntley didn't do that, and that's what will cost the Ravens. So when you
I got a
look at,
question
yeah,
real quickly here. Zach, maybe I'm just off here, and I don't even know if I believed it. I just want to throw this theory out there. Do you think, you know, that there was any instance where John Harbaugh ran away from J.K. Dobbins to show Tyler Huntley's true worth to the team with the Lamar Jackson situation going on the way how it's going on right now?
it's definitely an interesting question that I didn't really think about. But I mean, this is a playoff game, man. Like, I know there's plenty of things going on with Lamar, but if that was the case, then the Ravens deserve to lose that game, honestly. But I'm happy you brought that up because I did have a few other thoughts on Lamar, and it's interesting because everything that happened leading into this game, right? Like, since the injury, when the injury first happened, it seemed like a foregone conclusion that Lamar would at least be back by the playoffs. But as time has gone on, this situation has just kept on getting weirder and weirder and weirder and weirder. And usually, when it comes to this type of situation where you have a star player and it's unknown whether he's going to be on his team long term or not, in the NFL, I usually assume, like, okay, that player is going to be back because if he hits the open market, he's going to get that contract in free agency, and the team should be smart enough not to lose him. But when you get in that position where money is on the line, and we all have that same feeling, like, you think Lamar Jackson, he deserves to get paid a big time deal, but the Ravens are not willing to give him that big Deshaun Watson contract. Like, when you're in the building with your bosses every day and you think you are getting underpaid, you don't think you're getting compensated enough, things just get awkward. Things just get weird. And I think when it comes to this Lamar Jackson situation, I have really come to the conclusion, I'll say it right now, I don't think Lamar Jackson is going to be a Raven next year. I think he's going to be on another team because he just isn't getting what he feels he's worth. And if the Ravens aren't going to give it to him, I know someone else will.
That Lamar Jackson situation is very dicey. It's very confusing, puzzling. It's very illuminating or unilluminating. Like, it's a lot of factors that goes into that. I was thinking about this earlier today. I'm like, I really can see the leverage on both sides. Like, if you're Lamar Jackson, clearly this offense does not look as explosive and as dual threat is the word I'm looking for. It doesn't look as
You won the MVP in, right?
yeah, he won an MVP, right? Not too long ago, Lamar Jackson did. So you can see the differences. You can see why you would want to build your team around Lamar Jackson compared to a guy like Tyler Huntley. Respectfully. With all due respect, Tyler Huntley played a good game. I'm not even gonna lie. Playoff game, I actually was impressed. After that first interception, I was impressed. But still, there's levels to this. Lamar Jackson clearly is on that level from a physical, explosive standpoint. So, Claire, you would want to pay that guy compared to any other guy that's not a top 10 quarterback that we know of right now. But with that being said, it's like, if the Ravens really want to get this monkey off their back and they realize that they're not going to pay him, they're just not, then they got to trade the guy. I think, that would be the best thing for both parties, because if you're the Ravens side of the bracket, you could trust John Harbaugh to rebuild and retool if he has to. He has a great defense out there. He has a great ecosystem of running and rushes, that he can build around the quarterback that they decide to hand the baton to. And that quarterback more than likely will be cheaper, right? If not cheap, depending on how young they go. Like they did it before. They did it with Lamar Jackson. They literally got out of that Joe Flacco era mid-season with Lamar Jackson, changed the whole offense, and just, ushered in the new era of the Ravens. Now they're just going to have to do it again. But I think this organization is stable enough to realize that they can possibly do it again. If this was some other organization, I'm not sure if I'm taking that risk. Let's say Lamar Jackson was on I won't say Detroit. I like Detroit. Let's say the Ravens or the Browns. Perfect example. If Lamar Jackson was on the Browns right now, you got to pay him that money. Like, it's the Browns. He would be the best quarterback of all time on that team. But if you're the Ravens who won a Super Bowl before, if you feel, like I said, it's not my politics. If you feel that you don't want to pay him that money and trade him, if that's what you deem to be the best for the team going forward,